so today I'm going to be doing a requested video. We're going to be doing the Shop Miss A sponge versus the Beauty Blender. I want to see which one is better. Is this really worth your money when you can get one for $1? Is this dollar even worth it? These have already been wet. I just washed these. I have tried them before. I wanted to make sure that I wouldn't be allergic to these. I do have sensitive skin, so I did try it, I think like the next day, just to make sure that my skin would be okay with it. So this is how big the Shop Miss A one gets. And I have no nails on, no talons. So that's how big this gets. And this is a damp beauty blender, so you can see how much bigger this one actually is. Oh, this is the mini. If you don't know or haven't seen one of my previous videos, I was gifted this by my best friend. Hey, Hilly. I kept seeing them on YouTube, but here in Toronto, these cost about $28. I'm not paying $28 for a sponge. This I saw online in my last, if you haven't seen it, check the eye and it'll lead you to my last Shop Miss A haul. I saw these, I'm like, why not try it? So I definitely want to try these ones because they're $1. I would love to only have to pay $1 or maybe like $2.10, whatever it converts to in Canadian. So I'm gonna go through the positives and negatives of each, not in comparison to another, but just in general. So the positive for this one is it's very soft, it's huge. Look at it in comparison to my face. It's incredibly affordable because it's $1. It holds a lot. If you like your sponges to be really moist, this holds a lot of water. The negative to this is the same thing, is that it holds a lot of water. So it is a very porous material, I find. So when I wet it, it gets wet. It's sopping wet almost instantly. Another issue was I washed this. I used kid shampoo to clean this. I used maybe a dime size amount in the palm of my hand, and I just kind of swirled it to make sure I got the makeup off. It took a really long time for this and this, but even more so strangely this one, to get the soap out of it, because it really has more of a sponge-like material than I would say the Beauty Blender. When you squeeze out the water, it contracts and all of it comes out, but when you release it, the pores of it expand, and because of that expansion, it creates air bubbles with the little soap that's still inside. So it's wet now, it's expanding, it's creating our air bubbles, so it's almost like it's rejuvenating the soap that's inside. So it took a really long time for it to, you almost have to squeeze it and put it under water and keep pulsing it. This one, the small one, took way longer to get all the soap out, and I used way less soap on this one because I had learned than this one. I would say a positive about this is obviously the size. You know, you can get in really tight corners, really small areas. You can probably contour with this. A main negative of this one is the consistency. This one, dry, feels like an eraser. It is the same buoyancy as the eraser you get on the back of a pencil, not the white ones, the actual pink ones. And even wet, it feels like this could feel like an eraser when dry, like you can feel it. Positives for the Beauty Blender is that as you wash it, it almost washes like a cloth rather than a sponge. So you can put soap on it, it'll clear it out, you can squeeze it, and then when you release it, it doesn't create more soap. It works like a washcloth. It's really a really interesting material, because this is not what I would like. I always assumed that like all sponges would work like this, and I wasn't expecting to not notice for how long I've had this that it didn't create more air bubbles. A negative is definitely the price. Yes, this is a great product, but it is $29 Canadian. It's a sponge. No matter what it is still a sponge. This is a luxury product in my opinion, but it is a good product. It just happens to be extremely expensive, and we're gonna find out if there's something comparable. What we're gonna do is I'm just gonna do my face. I'm not gonna do any eyes. This is a face video. All right, so first we're gonna prime my face. I'm gonna use the AOA Studio Wonder Skin in the mattifying primer. Are you guys like getting into my eyebrows though? Lily, if you ever see this, you did an awesome job. I am going to be using the Black Opal True Color in Nutmeg, which is what I normally use in my videos. It is a foundation stick. Previously, I've only tried this with liquid foundation, not a full coverage stick like this one. Okay, so we're going to do this a side by side. So on this side, I'm going to be using the Shop Miss A sponge, and on this side, I'm going to use the Beauty Blender. Giving it this side, because I have these marks here, I want to see how well it covers. The reason I'm doing these at the same time, I don't like my foundation to set, and I feel like if one sets on one side, it becomes harder to blend, and I don't want that to reflect on the sponge itself. I want this to be as fair as possible, to be as honest as possible. So based on the initial application, I can definitely see that this side of my face is lighter than this side of my face. Even though I do have a lighting over here, if I go like this, like, yeah, this side of my face, you can see that this side's a little bit darker. I would say that most likely what happened is the Beauty Blender has a way of sopping up some of the makeup and blending it through, almost like dispersing it. I feel like it took up some of the makeup as well and kind of blended it out, so it was a little bit of a more airbrush finish. Whereas with this, instead of it sopping up the product, it actually just blended it into the skin. It definitely left more of, I guess, the product on my face. So this one leaves more product on, it seems like, versus this. So let's now conceal. I'm going to take, this is Fawn. I'm going to use the LA Girl Pro Conceal in Fawn. On this side, I'm going to be doing my eyebrows and just covering these up as well as the corners of my mouth. And on this side, same thing on my eyebrows. On this side, I'm going to be using the small sponge. Yeah, I can see that like the product isn't melting into my skin as it normally would with the Beauty Blender. I can see that it's definitely easier for it to blend with the foundation base, a lot easier with this. So now we're actually going to highlight to really try the different types of consistencies and products that this can work on. I am going to highlight, I'm going to do my facial highlights with we're going to be doing the facial highlights with the Fenty Beauty concealer in the color Suede. And I'm going to be doing all these highlights like how I normally would. Same shapes. Okay, now for the bridge of my nose, I'm going to use Fawn, and because it's directly centered, I'm just going to use a small one. Now for the contour. The contour, I'm going to be using the LA Girl Pro Conceal in the color Mahogany. Now Mahogany is a deeper, more ashen tone, so this will actually give the look of shadow rather than of bronze. I prefer to have a warmer contour than a cooler tone. Okay, so immediately I can tell this is blending this out way better. Way better. Now for the nose, I'm going to use the same thing. So on my nose, on this side, I'm going to be using the small one. On this side, I'm going to be using the Beauty Blender because that's what I normally do. So. And I'm just going to take some, or whatever's left on my brush, or my Beauty Blender, just put it up here. I didn't do this side. But you can definitely see that this holds on to more, because I was able to do a full contour on this side. Now it's time for the baking. These were both equally damp when I started. I can feel that the Beauty Blender is getting fairly dry, and this one is still pretty moist. You have a longer work time with this one than with the Beauty Blender. I just poured about a capful of water on this, and maybe 2 to 3 capfuls on this one by accident. This one is less moist than this one. So this one also takes less water. So another comparison while working is that this one dries faster and it can hold more water without it being like sopping wet. It can hold way less water than this one. So I use a cap full of water on this, and it's back baby. This one feels way more moist than this one. For true contrast, I'm going to bake my under eyes and all my highlights with banana powder, and I'm putting it on the sponge directly. So the reason, this is just another tidbit, but the reason why I do my highlights to the side of my nose, I contour my side of my nose, and then I bake again, is so that it actually gives a natural look to your highlights and your contours. Nothing on your face is a perfect dark line. Nothing's a perfect white line. There are no purities on your face. So you have to make sure that you layer lights and darks so that, you know, you look human. Definitely, I could feel that it was harder to pick up product with this one. I don't know how well that's showing up, but it caked, so this one's definitely way more moist. And for the center of my face, I'm just going to use the small one, which I have not put any more water on. Now normally I do not highlight all of my face with banana powder, but I do want to be able to show a difference. For my contour, I'm going to use the Fit Me powder in 360 Mocha. Use the other side. So what I'm noticing is that this picks up more product. I don't have to use as much, I guess. Okay, so it's been 3 minutes. So I'm just gonna take a brush, dust it all off. I'm gonna go in with the Fenty Beauty Shimmer Skin Stick in the color Rum, and I'm going to highlight and blend it out using these. I normally blend this with my fingers, but you know, let's see what it does with a highlight, like, you know? Definitely say the Beauty Blender with the highlight stick really melts it into your skin, so it looks more of a natural glow. Rather than this side, I feel like it looks like I'm wearing highlighter. Let's Rudolph this out, you know? You know? You already know what it is, B. Okay, so these are my final thoughts. Jerry Springer. Really what's killing me is the highlighter on the side, but each has a pro and a con. And it depends on how you like your makeup finish, how you like your makeup to be used by brushes and products, and more of like what you're used to. So I would go with Shop Miss A if you want your makeup to be the full coverage it says it is. And I know that sounds crazy, because obviously if you bought full coverage makeup, you'd want full coverage makeup. There's something about this that it picks up the makeup, but it also kind of just moves the makeup around. For me, it made this side of my face off rip darker, and I can still see it. But it's not by a lot, but because it didn't sheer out the makeup, I got the full makeup, the full foundation on my face. Not everybody doesn't want that. Some people want it to be able to be pushed more into your skin and meld and be buildable, where some people's like, I just need it to just be slapped on. I see why this is important, mainly from that last accidental test, because this really pushes into your skin. It allows your makeup to sink in and to really look more natural. Definitely, you look way more natural with using this. I'm gonna go with this one, but I don't see an issue as to why somebody would choose this over this. So yeah, thank you so much for your time. I hope this answers a lot of questions. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Follow me on all my social media. My Instagram is @JillTrill. My Snapchat is JillTrill. My Twitter is Trill, PetroTrill, and follow me on Tumblr. My Tumblr is kind of poppin'. It's JillTrill. If you found me from there, I love you so much, because I never thought that out of all my kind of platforms, that would be the one that would kind of pop off and people would really like pay attention to. I'll be starting mixes, making mixes in the new year, so yeah, look out for those. I've been doing some like 90s mixes, some early 2000s, some maybe some 80s, you know, maybe throwing a little bit of Migos in there, but I'll definitely be making mixes because I have extra time on my hands. If you have any further video suggestions, please leave them down below. I'm always in the comments with you guys. You leave a comment, I respond back to you. I do 90s and early 2000s makeup recreations from hip-hop and R&B videos. You know, I like to give roses while they're still here if it's possible. So yeah, leave me any suggestions down there. Check out any playlists I have, because you know, some of the videos may suggest I may have already done. Or if there's another look from that video you want to do, holler at your girl. So I love you guys. Be blessed. Bye.